65 is a boat that's, to the layman, is going to look relatively similar to a Volvo Open 70. So conceptually it has a lot of similar features and is going to be a very high performance offshore racing boat. What separates it a little bit from the 70 is that it's trying to address a cost issue associated with the hardware in the event. So the boat's a little bit smaller and many of its parameters are scaled to try to address cost. And the hardware, when you reach the starting line, represents approximately a third of your technical budget. So the other 2/3 of your technical budget we address with shared spares and shared support schemes. But the design itself, beyond those conceptual things, really tries to address a couple other key components, and those are safety and reliability. And as we do all of those things, we're also trying to make a boat that's a little bit more manageable for less skilled teams. So we can combine these goals with the performance and cost and reliability and try to address them all in one design package that speaks to all those. Well, I think that, in order to have a very successful one design class, you need to stick very closely to things that have worked well in the past. So we're very conservative in a lot of the choices we make with materials and with suppliers to take proven things that are still cutting edge proven things and very aggressive for a Grand Prix product, but they are proven, they are reliable, and they are going to work on day one. So we don't really have the luxury of trying necessarily the latest, greatest thing in several key areas. That said, we can be pretty aggressive in some of the system sides and things like that in areas where, for instance, you have a battery technology that you can incorporate into the design and make some weight savings. You can take an area like that and you can make weight savings that are good for the total product without really making a huge risk in the process. So materials and supplier information for the most part is relatively conservative. Instead, where we try to make some big gains are on the technology design side. So if we have the shape of something like a hull or appendages or things like that, we're under some pressure that we place on ourselves to make those parts as good as we can, because the boat has to last, be reliable, and safe for 2 race cycles. So you have to put the boat on day one that's going to be as good as it can be to make sure it lasts that long. So to win the next one design Volvo Ocean race, what you're going to have to do is use the boat better than the other people. And so the crews are really going to be the focal point of this. How they maneuver, how they get the most out of the boat, how they navigate, how they do all of the things around the platform. So it's going to be an enormous challenge, and it's really going to highlight the good teams from the bad teams. Before, we've sort of had a little bit of that layered over top of hardware differences, which has made it difficult to tell what's really winning the race, and this time you're going to see what's really winning the race, and it's going to be the sailors.